Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yes.
All right, yeah, I mean, what are we supposed to do now? For real, there's just cupcakes just sitting there, just unannounced, undirected, without any ownership, clear. I want a cupcake.
Do cupcakes.
All right, so what am I supposed to do now? If that ghost keeps pestering me every night, I won't be able to sleep, and then I won't be able to recover. Wait, maybe Louisa can help me. We're going to talk to every single person about this damn ghost.
Yes, we are.
But one by one. This is going to be the round robin. This is your plot. Someone knocked on my door and made scritching noises in the night.
Uh-huh.
It's fine. That's it!
Perfect!
Louisa will mom the ghost away!
Yes! Brilliant! And honestly, I think my favorite thing has to be like metal, slim, door that doesn't actually have a lot of grain on it. So usually metal doors, they don't scratch very well.
You can't make scratchy sounds.
Yeah, that I'm like... Pfft. But they're like, it's a ghost, of course!
Of course it can make the scratchy sounds. All right.
Right.
Quickly, I eat my breakfast so I can get out of the cafeteria as soon as possible.
And I hobble like a chicken.
I have to go right now. It's time to head to Louisa's. Louisa has an office? They're adding so many things. How do we know where her office is?
Clearly off screen, and it wasn't important enough between where it has to tell us, and then I pick up the water, and then I drink the water, and then I put the water back down, and then I pat her head, and then I reach out my hand, and then I reach...
And then I think about doing it, and then I wonder if I should do it, and then I ask you what I should do. And yet you leave out an office?
So sometimes there is a level of where, like, I will totally be like, yes, you guys, sometimes we get really nitpicky with some stuff, but sometimes there's a pacing thing that people really like to do where they like to assume that you know what's going on. We've had this problem in regards to Lily's Garden where they seem to imply a lot of basically background that isn't, as far as we know, actually there, and it sort of makes you feel like you're not as involved in the story. It's sort of a thing that's happening over there and you're just sort of on the periphery. You're not really involved. You're not really getting to learn a lot about these characters, and the same thing is happening here, but it feels like it's worse here, because they really are going, here's every step, which Lily's Garden actually does to some degree, and which is why we also tend to, like, sometimes it's really egregious, and then other days it's been, like, wildly, like, oh, well, 3 hours later, and you're like, okay, well, I guess some stuff might have happened, but, like, this game is horrible, because it really is, like, here's the water, I do the thing, I pick up the water, put the glass down, did the bit, I finish my muffin, there's so many details that it covers, and then suddenly it jumps for no good reason, or it does, like, the pacing basically is all over the goddamn place, and it doesn't feel properly conveyed. There's also a level of, like, assumptiveness of going, well, this is just what happens in a hospital, and this doesn't work well when you have anybody who knows anything about hospitals,
and they're friend grew up around a lot of hospitals.
I did, and this doesn't fucking work.
I say there's also a level of just expositing your information and basically exposition pacing of how much and how often do you. All right, it's time to head to Louisa's office. I push the door to the cafeteria open. Your cafeteria?
I push the door open to Louisa's office.
In the cafeteria! Oh my god, either her office is immediately off the cafeteria or the cafeteria has a door. And if the cafeteria has a door, this is that step-by-step thing my friend was talking about, how do you handle all of your big traffic going in and out of there? I've never seen a hospital cafeteria with a door.
I have. I've seen
her office is attached to the cafeteria.
It is.
All right, time to head to Louisa's office, right over there.
But I said the thing was just going, I want to get to Louisa's office, so I eat as fast as I can. That doesn't mean that you got done. The transition is also poorly done here, and in regards to the backgrounds barely changing, that was really we're in the cafeteria, immediately into Louisa's office.
Look at this old-style computer monitor.
I'm like, all I can see for me is going, yes, I love it when you have contamination from the cafeteria.
Into my nurse's office?
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. I love this. This is so bad. I've never been here before.
Like, that is such an old, computer.
It is.
Like, oh god, the box, monitor?
Yeah. Unless somehow it's supposed to be a Mac, but I think the shaping and buttons are wrong for a Mac.
Yeah, no, that's not a Mac. That would be more like what I think I had when I was growing up, which was not a Mac. I think it was like an old Windows or whatever, but you would, push it, and it had the flat, large box.
I love that there's no computer tower here. It's just the monitor. Like you don't have a tower? That's
But
fascinating.
they're trying to be
Also,
really generic.
the file box would be totally in the way of your shins. Like you scoot into that desk and you shins into the file.
I have seen some people do dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it has to be smart. People arrange their offices in really poor ways.
I mean, the keyboard's over there.
Right?
So you'd have to either move it over here or you'd have to type with your head sideways, which would be great. Anyway, so it's a really funny
Because if it
office.
were me, I would, like, hang on, I actually can push. So I would actually put, like, the monitor over here in the corner, and then that way you actually, shit. Whoops. All right, so this is where Louisa spends her free time. I've already missed it.
It said, I've never been here before.
I had to pick up my finger.
No, I know. The first one said, I've never been here before.
I appreciate
then
that.
This is where Louisa spends her free time.
Dang it, it should
and
not
this
have
place
done
looks
that.
so clean.
All right.
So you can do one tap when it's not there.
Yeah.
But only one.
Yeah.
We're learning game mechanics. It's fine. I would say, but like, this, I've never been here before. How the fuck do you know where it is? You've now confirmed that what we know is that you have never been there before. How do you know where it is? This place looks so clean.
Again, I'm like, there's a way that you could be teaching people. I feel like what people are afraid to do in Otome games is actually do world exposition.
Right?
Like, they're like, you are allowed some, like, less exposition because it's a visual thing. Like, great, I'm super proud of you. But not everything is actually clearly stated, and it's a thing that, like, the Arcana fails at really hard, and it's this, like, something that a game like this fails at is really hard, is because you're all assuming that, well, the picture will just stand in. It's like, no, you have to be more precise.
You have to tell some of it. In the same way that with, like, Lily's Garden, there was an experience of going, you've described this area, and you've taught us what this area is, and then you've treated it like two areas, or then you've described this area, it looks like one area, like two areas, and you treat it like one. And it's really hard to tell. I would say, but in here, I just feel like there'd be a level, like, it'd be really simple to pull it together of, she just recently told me where that was. Like, Louisa recently told me where her office was. I should go there.
I also feel like one of the reasons why this bugs me in particular more is because it's assuming this is a story. Most of these games are story-based, and it's not like I get to go off and go fight random battles and go increase my level and then go deal with the main story.
Or just explore the hospital and meet the other weird, quirky characters there.
Yeah, like, there is very, this is... So that's why I think I'm more annoyed, is going, like, you could spend more time basically having exposition. If you wanted to actually have it where more of your character got to go run around and go learn more about the world, then you could do that. That could be maybe something you could optionally premium pay for, but that would also then make it more like a game rather than you just being like, I'm just here following along in a sort of vague choose-your-own-adventure novel.
The place looks so clean.
Look who's here!
I've never been here before. Oh, Louisa!
Scream.
I didn't see you there! Blah! As I opened the door and took in your entire office experience.
And for some reason, the damn thing wasn't locked.
Nope, and the door also wasn't open.
Yeah.
So not locked, door closed, no window. I can't see you when I come in, but you're here. You almost scared me to death.
Great, then I won't have to deal with you anymore. I mean, well, I wouldn't want that to happen.
You can't be a paying customer if you're dead.
These titties don't get work, hon, if you're dead.
Don't worry about it. What was that about titties?
What?
I'm here to tell you about...
About what, mister?
Did you just interrupt me, or did I just pause really long?
I think it's a pause.
Why am I hesitating? Am I scared that she won't believe me, too? Like Miki didn't believe me and shat on me for sharing and being vulnerable? About a ghost.
A ghost, you say?
At least
she's so delighted.
She's
a ghost, you say?
She really is the face. A ghost.
A ghost. Let me enable you and still call you an idiot. It's fine.
Yes. Maybe. But yes. Last night I heard someone knocking on my door, followed by the creepiest moaning sound ever. Not like I thought it was the creepiest ever, just like in an empirical, neutral value kind of way, ever in all things.
Oh, that's fine. That sounds very natural for people to be like, oh my god, it was the worst thing ever.
The creepiest thing ever. This is the best blade ever!
Which is why it's actually really important when you're talking to someone is to recognize when they're doing something like that, they're usually talking about for their own experience, and typically it's hyperbole. It's extreme exaggeration.
They're usually exerting like
because
crazy.
They're trying to convey an emotional experience that they've had.
And for me, I don't usually do very well with words, trying to explain an emotional experience by exaggerating. If someone's like, it was the worst thing I've ever seen ever, and I go, wow, that must be super intense. Are you okay? And they're like, blah, 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 I just want to talk about it. I'm like, the worst thing you've ever seen. Are you going to be all right? And they're like, oh my God, okay, it wasn't really the worst thing. I mean, it just sucked, all right? And I'm like, so do I listen to your words or not?
Like I said, what it is mostly based off of my experience, my friend, and this might be a thing for you,
But I'm
is
a
that
weirdo.
it's true, but I like you. But the thing is that it really is I'm trying to convey an emotional experience that I don't know how to express into words.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the exaggeration of my words will at least get you somewhere close, like even
To
my
what I
intensity
felt.
to what I felt.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that it was the worst thing ever, but for me in that instance, trying to,
Followed by the creepiest moaning sound ever.
Oh, that ghost!
That ghost? She
Her desk is on the side! She can't sit behind anything!
Yeah, I was gonna say, when someone sits behind their desk, I mean, I guess technically you could be sitting in front of a wall behind your desk, but usually behind your desk in reference to a conversation is because the desk is then between you and the person, which is impossible with this desk, unless she has a second desk in here, like we have kind of 2 beds in our room, but possibly not. It might just be a king-size hospital bed.
Right?
She sits down behind her desk. You know about this?
Absolutely. You're not the first to complain about the mysterious knocking. We call it the mysterious knocker.
And what have you done about this knocker? These knockings, the experience of the knockers. Ugh, finally, someone who believes me.
Out of all the 9 billion, I mean, the one person that I've tried. Now,
Actually,
granted, I understand, like, where you have somebody that you consider to be an authority, if they shoot you down, it feels like 900 people have told you off.
But also, the people in the cafeteria directly, completely believed you and warned you against investigating it.
Yeah.
So the second group of people you talked to did believe you, so you got 50-50 being believed and not believed. Finally!
Except that it's more like 75-25.
Because of your weight of value on importance on what they say. And I appreciate that.
No. Actually, because just sheer numbers. Because you have 3 people.
Oh, you have 2 people that said I believe you.
Yeah.
And 1 that said I don't. Yeah, it's true. It's, you have 75% and 25, basically.
But again, I also understand where it's this, if you put your value in somebody who's like, I really admire you, I really like you, especially if you're a person who easily defines your value or worth by other
people's interactions,
And especially if you go, well, you're a doctor, well, you're a nurse, well, you're this, amazing, powerful person.
You're an authority, I should trust you.
Yes. And I have a hunch you've told Miki about this. She doesn't believe in anything supernatural, that young woman.
That young woman. Young woman. You're a woman and you're young. I said young woman.
You'll have to forgive her.
Will I? I understand. Even I was second-guessing myself.
Except that, again, we've established that you had people that you talked... Oh, my God. It was fine.
All right, so what can you say about this entity? Also, it could have been a ghost. Now it is absolutely 100% guaranteed a ghost. We are operating from it's a ghost. I think it's a pet peeve in stories for me, where people are like, it could be this thing. And then everyone moves forward as if it is exactly 100% guaranteed, proof positive to be that thing until the author eventually confirms that it is or isn't that thing.
I mean, but that's also the way that usually, like, people get stuff done, is you usually have to be like, okay, so we have to operate from some position. Let's just say it is true. Right?
Okay,
and let's start there.
Like, starting from a position of this did happen versus this is absolutely a ghost are very different positions for me. If somebody goes, I had a problem, there was a disturbance, you don't go, well, we can't actually establish or not there was a disturbance, but they can say, it could have been from ruffians. And they go, let's go find out about the ruffians. That's what I'm talking about. Instead of, let's go find out about the disturbance.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's true. So instead of going like, what we're talking about is that something happened rather than who caused it. Like,
rather
or what
than
it was caused
exactly what happened.
Right.
Yes. We're talking about basically acknowledging something happened versus deciding what it was with no proof or evidence or anything.
Right.
All right. What can you say about this entity? Louisa claps her hands together as if preparing for a speech. Well.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
You just did. Ask away.
I'm not going anywhere.
You got really close to asking me a question.
You're entering a dark room.
Is this hypnosis?
Is this? As soon as you're inside, you see 3 things.
Are you doing a psychological analysis?
A candle, a wooden stove, and a gas lamp.
It sounds really wildly like word association or something.
What would you light first?
I can't light anything. I don't have fire. Candle, wood stove, gas lamp. I guess the gas lamp, because it would give the most light.
What?
How should I answer that? What should I light first? Oh my god. This is the weirdest ass choice I have encountered in this whole game.
Okay, this
is weird.
What?
I don't know. I mean...
I'm also like, you're assuming that you can light, or that is part of the thing of going none of the above. I don't have the ability to light anything.
I feel like he would be, I don't know, basically, so none of the above because you don't know.
Right?
Well, I mean, either that or he would just, like, basically pick some, but I don't know enough about him to arbitrarily know, like, basically what his background would pick.
Right.
Because people, even when they're choosing something, quote, randomly or suddenly off the cuff, it's informed by who they are and what they would normally think of.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things that people do
knowing
based on...
nothing about his life and very little about the technology level here, etc., I'm like, I would tend to pick none of the above because I don't know enough to choose anything different. And also, I don't think he would know. I think he'd be like, he's also been hesitating real fucking hard with her.
Right.
So none of the above is it falls into hesitation for me.
Sure, that works for me.
It didn't pick it.
No.
Oh dear.
Pep.
Pick.
Pep.
Oh, there we go.
Ha.
None of the above. Louisa narrows her eyes. Eyes stay hugely open.
Why?
I already know the answer to that. I already know the answer to why. You should, I guess, because you chose what you chose? It's a trick question, right? The answer should be the matchstick. Okay, that's cute. I was going to say, yeah, because you have to light something else to light
any of those things. Yeah, that's why I was like, you don't
Unless you're lighting the stove with flint and tinder. And then you don't have to light anything.
You could also, though, light basically any number of those things with flint and tinder.
You can. Actually, a candle and stuff like that. Wicks can be ignited with sparks from flint, depending on how they're made and stuff like that. But yeah, I was going to say, lighting the stove with flint, you wouldn't have to light the matchstick
Honestly,
first.
I'm going to crack up being like, did we just inadvertently pick the right answer?
I have
just
no
be
idea.
Like, we don't...
Like, I didn't think it was a trick question. I just thought it was weird because why are we asking this question?
Right?
The matchstick. Without the matchstick, I wouldn't be able to light any of them. I wouldn't light any of them. I'd just turn on the light. Is it cold? Then maybe you'd light the stove.
Right?
Wrong. Flint and tinder?
I did not mention that you were carrying a matchstick.
You didn't mention anything.
Actually?
Huh? Then what's the answer then? Some lanterns are self-lighting.
I know that.
Like they click and then it does a spark to light the wick as you roll it up from the oil.
The answer is that you just go back outside. So
there was no right answer.
There was no right answer.
The
room is dark and you have no other source of light.
Okay. Just when I thought I'd managed to outsmart you. When have we ever tried to outsmart her?
I'm also like, why are we trying to outsmart people? What does this have to do with anything?
I know.
Like, what kind of posturing is this? Like,
how does this have to do with we brought you a question about a ghost? You just go back outside. So, does it mean open the door to your room and that will give you the answer about the ghost? Is that what this is?
I have no idea.
So, what's the point of that riddle?
My point is that people jump to conclusions easily.
You said ghost, you said specter, I said ghost.
They think they know something, this and that, blah, 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 but they fail to focus on the things that matter.
Like...
What?
Which is? The ghost doesn't matter. You being able to sleep through the night and heal so you can go sport again is what matters. The things that are real. The things that exist. So now you're going to tell me ghosts don't exist? It doesn't matter if ghosts are there. They don't actually exist.
What?
Where
the fuck is this going?
We are as confused as Mr. Finally, all of us on the same page. On this side of the screen.
Yay!
I don't think I get what you mean. Louisa stands from her chair and paces around the room.
You don't understand that I'm trying to be deep. You know what bothers me? This actually... So I have to say, for me... I've kind of wondered... This sounds a little bit like a dude writer. Like, basically somebody who identifies as being a man and is cis, because there's a weird level of, like, entitlement and sort of, like, the way the story is constructed is bizarre to me. Because, like, this really does just sort of... I don't know how to describe it, but, like, when you read books that are written by men versus books that are written by women, and I'm really talking about a cisgender experience here, because I don't have, unfortunately, a lot of exposure or experience with non-binary or basically other gender experiences, because non-binary doesn't cover them all, and there are literally other gender experiences or trans experiences. Like, this really seems like somebody who is at least identified as male at birth, and I hate to code it like that, but this really bugs me, because there's a level of, like, weird... there's weird dynamics at play in here, and I don't like them. Like,
yeah, it feels very strange. This game has been very strange all along, and it's been hard for me to even label some of why it feels strange.
Yeah.
But it might be easier to wrap up once we get to the end of it. I'm not sure.
Right.
All right, and paces around the room.
Is there really a ghost? So what?
She is.
If there really is a ghost, so what? If you're in a dark room and you see a ghost standing in the middle, what would you do? Just continue on with your life. Who the fuck cares, right?
Right? Like, the ghost isn't real. It can't do anything. I would look at the ghost.
I'm also like, it's literally fucking interfering with your life. Honey, we're having a weird You're like, I'm gonna get metaphysical and whatever. I'm like, I don't understand this game.
I believe you, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't believe you. I believe you, but it doesn't matter. And then Rena, I am nosy. Well, let's go figure it out together.
Yay! Which
I feel like that's where this is going.
Yeah. Why?
Okay, I would look at it to understand it better. So for me, when I think I see something really unexpected or that I don't understand or that doesn't fit into my regular model of understanding things, yeah, I tend to look at it because I'm extremely visual and I tend to understand things with my eyes.
Though there's also a thing that sometimes people look at stuff just to establish where it is and then run away because not everybody gets over that basically fight or flight instinct. Or there's another one, which is your freeze, which is one they don't really talk about. I think they call it your fawn response, basically.
There's 4 of them. Fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. So if you encounter danger, you either fight it, you run from it, and this can be either emotional danger or physical danger. So you can be fighting it emotionally or socially. I would say, and then fight, flight, freeze. You don't speak or you don't know how. You don't do anything.
You just seize.
Freezing is one of the ones that they've talked about a lot in the experience of like women being assaulted, and they go, oh well, she didn't resist. It's like a lot of women have a freeze response.
Yes.
A lot of people in basically oppressed groups have a freeze response as well, unless they've been taught to fight.
Yes.
I say, and then your last one is fawn. You try and placate, you try and soothe, you try and, basically agreeableness your way out of it. So I will attack you verbally, and you just try and be as disarming and submissive as possible.
Right.
That's fawning.
All right. Well, I guess in the next one, we're going to find out if it's going to hurt us or not.
So the reason we look at things is to see if they're going to hurt me.
All right. So thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. Got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!